Peking University, and Mr. Albert Liu, Vice President, Alibaba Legal Department. The panelists explained the legal, operational, and technical nuances of the topic. Thereafter, Dr. Dougal explained the challenges faced by states in regulating online harmful content. The last session witnessed a discussion on peaceful use of cyberspace. Ms. Margarita Daxanio, Regional Legal Advisor and Head of Legal Department of the ICRC East Asian, Mr. Du Yuejin, Vice Chairman of Cybersecurity Association of China, elucidated the application of international humanitarian law to cyber operations in the context of armed conflict and the challenges being faced by the states in dealing with cyber warfare. The delegations actively participated in the discussions referring to their domestic legislations on various aspects dealing with cyber crimes, again, toward the continued relevance of the topic international law in cyberspace. There also seemed to be a clear consensus in the meeting on the continued relevance of the working group and its meetings, and that further in-depth discussion were required to finalize the way forward for the working group on this topic. During the working group meeting, I had set forth a twofold proposal in that context. Firstly, the member states ought to be more active in responding to the questionnaire of the rapporteur circulated in furtherance of preparation of the report on the special need of the member states for international cooperation against cybercrime, as per the mandate received at the 57th annual session of ALCO held in Tokyo in 2018. Pursuant to this, the questionnaire had been recirculated by the Secretariat requesting responses from the member states. Secondly, I had proposed that the member states seek the guidance and assistance of the Secretary General to explore the drafting of a non-binding general document, a zero draft, clarifying the consensual basic principles of international law applicable in cyberspace. I had invited the views of the delegates of the member states on the second proposals. Support was expressed by delegations, and accordingly my suggestion was unanimously adopted. The working group meeting also adopted the summary report and the chairman's report by consensus. Pursuant to the second proposal of the chairman, the Secretary General has drafted the non-binding, non-exhaustive, consensual basic principles of international law applicable in cyberspace, based on the existing work of the rapporteur of ALCO, open-ended working group on international law in cyberspace, and various efforts within the United Nations and other relevant international organizations. The drafted proposal had been circulated to the member states. As I was informed, so far the Secretariat has received comments from 4 member states and 1 observer. The comments received are generally supportive and constructive, with suggestion of further elaboration, additions, and modifications, so as to make the draft more reflective of the positions and common standing of the ALCO member states and consistent with current international practice on the subject. I welcome and appreciate the comments from the member states and encourage the other member states who have not yet shared their views on the proposed principles to do so, in order to contribute to the production of a rich and comprehensive text to the benefit of the Asian-African region. The Secretary General's proposals and the comments received will be submitted to the next working group meeting on international law in cyberspace for further in-depth discussion and possible adoption. Before I conclude, I would like to propose to this session, through you, Honorable President, that at least one working group meeting be convened prior to the next annual session of ALCO to further deliberate its future work and mandated tasks. I thank you for your attention.
I thank the chair of the working group on international law on cyberspace. I invite any intervention on this particular subject. The delegation of Palestine, you are invited.
شكرا. أنا بشكر الجميع على عقد هذا اللقاء الهام جدا. وبالنسبة لمحور الفضاء السبراني أنا أعتبر هذا المحور هام جدا، وخاصة أثناء النزاعات يعني اتفاقية جنيف لعام 1949 والبروتوكولين الأول والثاني لعام 1977 لم يتم تغطية هذه الجريمة حتى نتكلم عن تعاون دولي ما بين الدول. وأنا هنا أركز على جانب إعادة النظر في التشريعات، وذلك بالتعاون مع اللجنة الدولية للصليب الأحمر حول دعوة الدول الأطراف السامية لتعديل أو إضافة نصوص تعالج الفضاء السبراني والجرائم السبرانية حتى يكون تعاون دولي. لكن هذا لا يمنع باقتراح أن يعقد ورشة عمل أو اجتماع خاص لمنظمة أليكو حول هذا الجانب. والنقطة الثانية في غاية الأهمية، كذلك لم يوجد نص في النظام الأساسي للمحكمة الجنائية الدولية حول هذه الجريمة، وبالتالي لا بد من إعادة النظر في هذا الجانب. فأنا أقترح أن تعقد ورشة عمل خاصة لمعالجة هذه القضية للخروج بتوصيات قانونية تعالج هذه القضية على مستوى المنظمتنا الدولية. وشكرا.
Thank you, Delegation of Palestine, for the intervention. Is there any other member who would work to make any intervention on this subject? Any? None. I see no requests. So let us break for 1 hour for lunch. It is 5 after 3. We should be back by 4 o'clock. Will the Secretariat give details on where lunch is to be served?
Thank you. So lunch will be served at on the second floor. Now for every other delegate, lunch will be served on the second